See, look, we all hear about celebrities, multimillionaires, actors, people who just highly successful. We all hear the same story. We all hear that some tend to have sold their soul, which some have. We all hear certain stories like, okay, they sold their soul, and some did sell their soul. We all tend to hear a lot that highly successful individuals, whether they're actors, musicians, athletes, just overall successful individuals in general, we all tend to hear the same conspiracy, meaning they sold their soul. Some did, some didn't. See, people tend to judge highly successful individuals without actually getting to know them. See, you have to understand something. You're not going to be able to tell whether a person sold their soul or not until you be around that individual. Trust me, when you know for a fact, when you can recognize demons, you're going to know exactly who sold their soul and who didn't sell their soul. Some people didn't sell their soul, some did, but you have to be conscious and aware, and you have to really let life teach you and mold you so that you can recognize the opposition right then and there. And this is the thing, people only judge celebrities, actors, athletes, and highly successful individuals due to the fact that they in the public eye. They're in the limelight. And because they're in the limelight, people are going to feel entitled. So it's going to be easy to make up conspiracies. It's going to be easy to make up things about certain people due to the fact that they're in the limelight, and people are going to dehumanize them anyway. The fact is, that's the problem. People tend to dehumanize individuals who is highly successful. And completely forgetting the fact that this individual is a human being. You got to understand something. Everybody didn't sell their soul. One must have a soul in order to recognize individuals that have sold their soul. This thing, if you don't have a soul, for a demon, demons can't recognize individuals who sold their soul because they have no soul. I have a soul, so I'm going to be able to recognize and categorize the left from the right. Meaning, just because people got to understand something, just because somebody is famous or a celebrity or highly successful, don't forget the fact that they are human beings as well. You got to understand something. They just didn't become that overnight. You wasn't. See, we only see the outcome. We don't see what they go through in order to produce the outcome. Meaning, you wasn't there with them when they was going through hell. Meaning, if you got to understand something, in order for one to become truly successful, you must experience what being at the bottom feels like. And only individuals who are human going to experience that. So at the end of the day, sometimes you got to understand something. You can't categorize. Sometimes people tend to pick and choose and make celebrities, athletes, and highly successful people that's multimillionaires. Sometimes people dehumanize them due to the simple fact that they in the limelight and they're an easy target. It's just that simple. Don't forget that celebrities, athletes, highly successful individuals, multimillionaires, don't forget the fact that they are human beings as well. The thing is, they just chose to not be unsuccessful. They didn't settle for less. They knew they worth. Some sold their soul. Some did compromise who they are. But we're not talking about those individuals. We got to understand something. Everybody didn't compromise. Some people playing a game above the shoulders. This one I'm getting at. Okay, they ain't no different from regular individuals. They not. The only thing that make those individuals different is that they have money, talent, and success. That's it. And obviously they didn't settle for less. This is the thing. Even if they sold their soul, selling your soul mean you just compromising who you are as an individual. That mean even if they sold their soul, you got to understand something. They ain't no different from regular individuals. They're no different from people that I know. They ain't no different from people that I grew up around, because guess what? Those people have sold their souls also. So what makes celebrities, athletes, entertainers, multimillionaires more different from people from from people that's already soulless? Meaning 98% of the world have sold their soul. We can say celebrities sold their soul. You can say whoever. It's easy to say, oh, such and such sold their soul, or they don't have no soul just because they're in the limelight. Okay, we know they sold their soul, but at least they got something out of it. Meanwhile, your mama sold her soul. Your daddy sold his soul. Your siblings sold their souls. Your friends sold their souls. Look, 95% of the world, the people that walk in this world, sell their soul. And they not even multimillionaires. They ain't even successful. What makes them more different than people who are already successful? Due to the fact that when they die, none of that shit coming with them regardless. The devil does not discriminate. How can I be like, okay, what's the difference of me saying, okay, this person sold they soul, when I know for a fact that I was born into a soulless family. You was born into a soulless family. Look around you. How many people you know right now that's not successful, that's broke, that don't got nothing going? How many people you know right now how many people that you know right now got a soul? None of them. They not even multimillionaires. They're not even successful. They don't even know they work. They insecure. They don't have nothing. But in this thing, they still sold their soul. What you sold your soul for, I don't know. And this is my thing. If you want to sell your soul, at least tell Satan to give you something out of it. Just say, oh, that's what I'm saying. Y'all sold, it's people that sold their soul and they broke. They ain't got nothing. If you want to sell your soul, at least tell them to give you something. You just sold your soul for free. But I hope y'all catching what I'm pitching. Meaning you can't pick and choose. Meaning just because they in the limelight, just because these people are successful, yeah, they might have sold their soul. But don't forget the people next to you sold their soul also. Meaning the people that's in your circle, society, these people have sold their soul. They just not famous. They don't have no talent. They ain't no different. They is no different. The devil doesn't discriminate. The only thing he know is, I want your soul. I don't give a care. He just wants y'all soul. He don't care. Long as you give him your soul, he got you. Exactly. So we can't pick and choose between we can't pick and choose. But look, if you compromise who you are for superficial things and temporary pleasure, no matter how much money you got, no matter how rich and famous you are, no matter how many people know you, when you die, you're gonna have nothing. All these things that you gave your soul up, all these things brings you nothing. Because when you die, you're gonna have nothing. Meaning this is the thing, you sold your soul, you got the fame, you got the fortune, you got the money, you got the women, you got everything. But once you die, you have nothing. Once these people, this is the thing, you can sell your soul and be broke. Once you die, you're going to have nothing. It's not, social economic status doesn't matter when you have no soul, because once you die, none of that is coming with you. You're not regular, nor you're above average. If you sold your soul, you're completely nothing. Stay blessed.